Right now, following severe weather across southern Wisconsin, we track storm damage in our communities.
And after that severe weather last night, we are tracking snow to end Saturday into Sunday. The forecast in just a few minutes.
I'm Andrew Banstra, and we are here in Indianapolis with Wisconsin men's basketball. Could they punch their ticket back to the Big Ten title game?
That's all coming up on News 3 Now at 10. Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jalen Banks. We start with last night's storms causing damage across southern Wisconsin. News 3 Now has been tracking how the severe weather has been impacting you since it started. Here's video from the damage overnight in Janesville from Friday. You can see a tree down in front of a home, and crews are working late into the late night hours to clear the roadways. Our Tanisha Shaw is continuing our severe weather coverage tonight in Beloit. She caught up with a man that says this damage hits close to home.
Well, I wouldn't quite expect it as much as behind us right now.
Storms rolled through Wisconsin Friday night into early Saturday morning. Hours after the severe weather, Lamar Pulliam dedicated his Saturday to visit his late mother at East Lawn Cemetery in Beloit.
When I came out to check my mom's grave, because this is a pretty big tree here, and I had heard that quite a few had fallen, so I thought maybe one or two. It's quite a bit more.
Here you can see a broken tree branch over some headstones. Then just a few feet away, you can see another one. I talked to Beloit officials who said this cleanup process will likely take weeks.
I came prepared to clean up if I had to.
Pulliam was prepared to not only clean up his mother's headstone, but others as well.
I got my gloves, change of clothes, my overalls, everything's in my trunk. So I brought that just in case I had to go to work.
His mother died 12 years ago from dementia and Alzheimer's. He said his mom, Jessie Pulliam, instilled all 14 of her kids with selflessness.
So she would be proud. My life kind of reflects what I saw growing up with her. She was helping all the time. So this to me is just what I do. It's what we should be doing for each other, kind of the way I look at it.
Reporting in Beloit, Tanisha Shaw, News 3 Now.
Tanisha and Mr. Pulliam, thank you. Let's get a look at your first warn forecast with the meteorologist Blaze Keller. Blaze, what should we expect?
We are looking at snow tonight, Jalen, after Tanisha had just shown us the storm damage from last night's storms in Beloit. We had over 40 storm reports in southern Wisconsin, most of them being wind gusts. Reported wind gusts or wind damage like what we just saw. Top wind speeds upwards of 75 miles per hour in Janesville as well as in Edgerton. And now we get ready for some snow. So Future Track is bringing in that snow as we go into the midnight hour. Let's take it just a step back here and look at radar 3000. We're beginning to see some of that light rain snow mix moving out of northern Illinois. So it will be moving into parts of Greene County as well as Rock County as we go further into the overnight hour. But as I said, we're not expecting most of that snow until after midnight, and it will continue through at least the late morning hours. In terms of snow totals, we're looking at mostly less than an inch of snow for a majority of our coverage area. Not to mention tomorrow's highs are going to climb above freezing, so a lot of that is going to melt as we go into the afternoon because we are expecting sunshine into the second half of your Sunday. In the meantime, quickly, temperatures much cooler than where they were 24 hours ago. 30s across southern Wisconsin and in the Dane County area. We'll hang out in the 20s tonight. We've got another round of snow as we head into the middle of next week. We've got the alert day conditions in the full forecast.
All right, sounds good, Blaze. We'll see you in just a bit. UW police are searching for a suspect after officers responded to a call for a stabbing on State Street. Dane County Dispatch received the call just before 2 p.m. this afternoon. Officials gave the all clear about an hour later after previously asking people to avoid the 500 block of State Street. There is not believed to be any threat to the public at this time. Wisconsin men's basketball looking to make it back to the championship game at the Big Ten tournament. But to do so, they need to pull off the upset against #1 seed Michigan State. Zach Hanley joins us now to break down the Badgers' big semifinal matchup.
Jalen, John Tonje got his mojo back in the quarterfinals when he dropped 26 points on UCLA, but the Tonje terrific train was just getting started. Let's call the semifinals against Michigan State his encore. Wisconsin looking to get back to the Big Ten championship game for the second straight year, and Tonje was a man on a mission. Second half, he hits the Spartans with a step back. Badgers up 7 at that point. Then later, it's Tonje again. This time, he hits them from deep. Game high 32 points for Tonje, who set a Wisconsin record for the most points in a Big Ten tournament game Badgers march on with a 77-74 win.
I mean, I guess it is pretty cool. I can't lie. It's a blessing to be here, and I'm just trying to live it up each day. And I guess it'll be cool to kind of reflect on some of those things later. But right now, we're just trying to compete and get a win.
I hope he gets more respect. Honestly, I mean, I was just watching that draft board. He's down in the 50s still, but I hope these people are starting to wake up and know that. He's a great player and an even better person, and whatever NBA team takes him, they're going to be happy.
So Wisconsin gets Michigan tomorrow. We'll have that game on right here on News 3 Now, and we'll have much more on Wisconsin's big win coming up later in sports.
Definitely looking forward to that one. Thank you, Zach. And many Badger fans traveled south and all the way down to Indy as well, cheering on the Badger men. We had the chance to catch up with some of Bucky's finest after the big win against Michigan State.
This was an exciting game. I mean, the tension that was there, the back and forth, the strategy that was involved, it was very exciting.
Super physical game. Guard did a great job.
Oh, it was really stressful. I was crying at the end. Yeah, I was happy when Tajay made a bunch of threes, though. That was great.
As Zach had just mentioned, the Badgers take on Michigan in the Big Ten Championship game tomorrow right here on News 3 Now. That game is at 2:30. Just to the east of us, 3 more Milwaukee schools are set to be closed next week. Emily Polfall has more on why that is.
3 more Milwaukee public schools slated to close Monday after health department investigators found significant lead hazards inside. Students at Starm's Early Childhood near 27th and Garfield will instead go to Starm's Discovery Learning Center nearby. Students at Fernwood Montessori School near Fernwood and Kinnickinnick will go to Andrew Douglas Middle School 9 miles away. And students at La Follette School near 9th and Ring will go to Wisconsin Conservatory of Lifelong Learning for the time being. In a memo to parents, the district saying they have not heard about any new cases of lead poisoning in students at any of these schools.
We all just want our kids to be healthy and have a good learning environment.
A 4th school, Trowbridge Great Lakes in Milwaukee's Bayview neighborhood, closed 2 weeks ago after the health department found lead there.
I was, a little angry, I guess, that we didn't have more of a heads up on when this was going to happen.
Those students can return to the building Friday. MDH also found lead in Golda Meir's lower campus, Maryland Avenue Montessori, and Coggle schools.
We know that this is an issue that we need to address. I'm assuming as MHD and MPS enter these buildings, conduct these visual walkthroughs, that we will have situations where we may need to pivot.
As of Thursday night, it's not clear if MDH expects to find dangerous lead levels in more buildings or if more school closures could be on the way. We know that there are 7 more schools that health officials are searching for lead in. They are Hopkins Lloyd, Brown Street Academy, Durfler Elementary, Longfellow Elementary, West Side Academy, Our Avenue School, and Franklin Elementary. And we know that officials have picked those schools to focus on because of the age of the buildings and because of the age of the students inside. In Milwaukee, Emily Pofall, WISN 12 News.
Coming up next on News 3 Now at 10, Blaze returns with a complete look of your First One forecast. And President Trump signs a continuing resolution to keep the government funded through September. How some Democrats join Republicans to move the bill forward. Plus, the Federal Trade Commission says they sent over $300 million worth of refunds to consumers last year. That and more next. Let's get a look at your First One forecast with meteorologist Blaze Keller. Blaze.
And we are looking at flurries tonight, as we mentioned already. St. Patrick's Day is going to be warm. We're back into the 60s, 50s. We'll also be returning next week as well after we cool on down because of this alert day on Wednesday. That's our next big system to move through the Midwest. So let's take a look at it. We'll start off big picture and then bring it back home. We're going to watch as yet another low pressure system comes out of the Colorado area. So this is going to be what we call a Colorado low, and they typically do bring us either severe weather like what we just saw, or depending on if they interact with cool air, some snow. So we're going to watch as rain and maybe a few thunderstorms move in Tuesday night into Wednesday. And then throughout Wednesday, our temperatures are going to drop as winds turn out of the north-northwest. They're going to become breezy and turn any remaining rain over to snow. So let's take it in closer to home. We're going to be watching as maybe a few showers and an isolated, generally non-severe thunderstorm moves in starting later Tuesday into early Wednesday. Throughout the daytime hours, temperatures are going to be dropping, and by the time we go into your mid-afternoon Wednesday, those northwesterly winds are going to turn that rain over to snow, and then that snow is going to continue to fall as we go overnight into early Thursday, and then we're left with those breezy conditions as we wrap up Thursday. Early snow totals are looking like a few inches, to say the least, across southern and central parts of our coverage area. Both the GFS and the European model, I think, have the northwestern part of our forecast area getting the highest amount of accumulations correct. That's where a lot of that moisture is going to be coming off of Lake Michigan, cooling, and that's where it's going to fall. We're going to be watching, though, to see where that freezing line is, where the temperature's at 32 degrees, and how quickly we cool on down throughout the Wednesday early afternoon, because that's going to determine how much snow we ultimately end up with for the rest of your Wednesday into Thursday. So mainly for snow and windy conditions, but we can't rule out an isolated storm. It's going to be non-severe Wednesday into Thursday, but that rain activity may begin as we go into late Tuesday. Now, some of you may have noticed that the sky was a little bit hazy today. If we want to take this full screen, that would be great, because I think it will illustrate the dust there across parts of Texas and Oklahoma and Nebraska. That was yesterday, but guess where that all ended up? That was overhead as we went into our Saturday here. So that's why, especially during the morning hours, there was a kind of a hazy look in the sky. The clouds seemed a little bit on the kind of orange dust color side, and that's the reason why. Air quality was very poor across parts of southern Wisconsin, and it will be improving if it hasn't already done so as we go overnight into your Sunday. 30s and 40s tomorrow. So again, any snow that we do receive, it is going to quickly melt. I would say folks north and west of Dane County, you probably won't see really any snow. Folks south and east of Dane County, including Dane County, we're looking at about an inch or less. So we have that alert day on Wednesday. St. Patrick's Day is looking pretty pleasant, 60s, mostly sunny conditions. And then we just kind of gear up for that Wednesday system. If we get a lot of snow and it maybe sticks around, possibly Friday will be slightly cooler as well. We could also see another rain snow mix as we end Friday and go into next Saturday.
So I hadn't noticed the haze this morning. My family, they live down in the Chicagoland area. They had it down there as well. So I was like, I know that there's not a large fire going on.
No, that was all dust, folks, all in that area yesterday. I mean, visibility was very, very poor, and all of that, based on the strength of that low, just got moved up north. And now it's going to continue to move on out of here.
And now we're going to see some snow.
Now we're going to replace that dust with snow, yes.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Blaze. The Federal Trade Commission says it sent $337 million worth of refunds to consumers last year. That's the agency you can contact if a company has scammed you. The FTC's annual report on refunds to consumers breaks down refunds by state. It also has a list of cases. Nearly $100 million went to consumers who were cheated by Benefit Technologies for sham health plans. A congressional measure to fund the government through September is now law after President Trump signed the bill today. And President Trump announced new military action against the Houthis in Yemen. CBS News' Christian Benavides is reporting on the latest from Miami.
On Saturday, President Trump signed into law legislation funding the government through the end of September. That ends the threat, for now, of a partial government shutdown. The bill, which divided Democrats, largely keeps government funding at levels set during the Biden presidency. 10 members of the Senate Democratic caucus helped in the so-called continuing resolution to clear Congress Friday night, despite opposition from within their party.
The CR is a bad bill. But as bad as the CR is, I believe allowing Donald Trump to take even much more power via a government shutdown is a far worse option.
And I appreciate Senator Schumer, and I think he did the right thing. Really, I'm very impressed by that.
Meanwhile, the president wrote on social media Saturday that he ordered a, quote, decisive and powerful military action against the Houthi terrorists in Yemen, saying they have waged an unrelenting campaign of piracy, violence, and terrorism against American and other ships, aircraft, and drones. And there's more potential fallout from President Trump's trade war with Canada. The country's new Prime Minister, Mark Carney, asked his defense minister to review the purchase of America's F-35 fighter jet to see if there are other options, given what he called the changing environment. Cristian Benavides, CBS News, Miami.
President Trump is also forging ahead with his administration's large-scale reduction of federal bureaucracy. Trump directed his administration to reduce the functions of several agencies to the minimum required by law. That includes deep cuts to Voice of America and other government-run pro-democracy radio programming. Coming up in sports, the Badgers are headed back to the Frozen Four. How Wisconsin skated past Clarkson next on News 3 Now.
Wisconsin women's hockey needed one win to advance to the Frozen Four for the 16th time in program history. And that number is remarkable in itself, but when you think that this is their 19th NCAA tournament appearance, well, the Frozen Four and the Badgers just go hand in hand. Standing in their way for trip number 16, well, Clarkson. The Golden Knights led 1-0 after one, and then the Badgers answered in the second. Casey O'Brien finds Ava Murphy, and her one-timer puts the Badgers on the board with the equalizer. But this one wouldn't stay tied for long. A couple minutes later, Kelly Gorbatenko dekes, dangles, and then goes top shelf where Mama keeps those cookies, and the Badgers are headed back to the Frozen Four with a 4-1 win.
This is definitely the hardest game to win to get there, and it's not just given to anyone. So you got to work to get to this spot. And I'm excited for our group. I feel like we're in a great spot, and everyone's so excited and on the same page. So this hopefully this momentum will carry over to next weekend.
I kind of blacked out for a little bit just because I was so excited, but just kind of soaking that moment in, and then when the buzzer goes, just kind of running to celebrate with my teammates. And it was a hard-fought win, and I'm just excited to be part of it.
10 years ago to the day, Wisconsin squared off against Michigan State in the Big Ten Tournament Championship game. The Badgers went on to win in overtime and then made a run to the Final Four. Same two teams meet today, with the winner advancing to the title game. Greg Gard's squad was down in the second half, but then they got hot. Carter Gilmore takes it straight down State Street to rock the rim. That was part of an 11-0 run to take the lead. And then the Johns just took the game over. First, it's Tanjay with a little step-back triple jack. He finished with a game-high 32, and then it was Blackwell's turn. Takes it to the cup for 2+1. 14 points from him, and the Badgers are on to the championship game with a 77-74 win. Andrew Banster was there for it all and has more on Wisconsin's theme of the week.
They're calling it the Revenge Tour. For as good as Wisconsin was this season, they went 0-4 against the best 4 teams in the conference. But this weekend, they proved that they are legit. Knocking off UCLA yesterday and beating top-seeded Michigan State today, punched their ticket back to the Big Ten title game.
It's blocked! Gilmore! Carter Gilmore gets it!
I told my fellas that this was a revenge tour, so, we gotta stand true to that. We gotta just make sure we continue to handle business. We got one more game, and then go out there and do what we got to do.
Came into this tournament wanting to play those teams. Starting with UCLA, we knew we would get a shot at them if we handle business with Northwestern, but we knew coming in we wanted to handle business against those teams we maybe didn't during the season, and we got one more chance tomorrow to do it.
This group is hungry. Being in this game last year, we knew what it took to get there, and I think we with the maturity and the responses that we have to teams making runs, I think that we'll put ourselves in a good position to go win a ring tomorrow.
Gilmore got it! A 3!
As Kamari McGee told me, we'll enjoy this one for a bit, but the job is not finished. We didn't come here to make it to Sunday. We came here to win on Sunday. At Gamebridge Fieldhouse, Andrew Banstra, News 3 Sports.
High school girls hoops, Edgewood looking for their second straight state title. Just have to get past Wauwatosa East, and this was a crazy finish. Crusaders down 2 with under 10 to go. Anna Miller muscles one up for 2 to send this one to overtime. Now, it would go to 3 OTs. Edgewood down 1. Miller trying to be the hero again, but her 3 comes up just short. Crusaders finish runner-up in Division 2. Cuba City looking for their 12th state title, taking on St. Mary Catholic in the Division 4 final. First half, Cubans down, but not for long. Ashley Rowe dials one up from deep to give Cuba City an early lead. Rowe had a team-high 15 points. 4 Cubans finished in double figures, including Dia Christ She kisses it off the glass for 2 more, and Cuba City makes history, winning their 12th girls basketball state title. Down in Division 5, Barneveld looking for their first state title since 2015, taking on Assumption. Second half, the Golden Eagles are down, but Isabel Durst bringing them back. She spots up and splashes home the triple to give Barneveld a 1-point lead. Durst finished with 12, but that lead would be their last because Assumption always had an answer. Jordan Jaglinski hits the triple, and Barneveld finishes runner-up 34-30. And we had 4 boys teams make it to next week's State Boys Basketball Tournament. Wanakee, Lake Mills, Mineral Point, and Abundant Life all punched their ticket to the Kohl Center. We're back after this. Oh, actually, we're not.
I was going to say, like, dang, Zach, you don't want to chop it up real quick? I was like, I think I know a little bit.
Used to the weekdays.
I get it, muscle memory. It's the veteran you are. But let's talk about one of the Badger teams from this weekend. They're still rolling.
Can you believe that it's their 16th straight, or not straight time, but 16th time to the Frozen Four?
Out of 19.
I mean,
has there been a program more dominant than them in all of NCAA sports? I think it'd be really hard to find a program like that. But let's get to the other Badger team from this weekend, Wisconsin men's basketball. Real quick, has there been a phrase in sports more coined than the job's not finished one from Kobe Bryant from the 08 finals?
No, but I want to talk about your favorite play. Maybe the smartest play, John Tonje, just a little.
Yeah, the poke at the ball. Watching it live, it looked as if he fouled, and I was blown away. I'm like, why would he do that? But when they showed the other camera angle and he clearly hit the ball, it just shows just how savvy some of the veterans, the senior veterans, are on this team this year. Even Carter Gilmore's block right before that.
Yeah.
I mean, just that's what March is all about. It's those little plays that get them over the top.
And they're making the big-time plays when they need to.
Yeah, absolutely. Big game tomorrow, and then into Selection Sunday and off to the NCAA tournament. Hopefully, they'll be down the street in Milwaukee.
Please.
I know.
Please.
For his sake, please just be down the street. Sounds good. Thank you, Zach. We'll be back with more after the break. So big game tomorrow right here on our network. UW in the Big Ten Championship game. What are your thoughts going into that final one?
I think they get it done. It's the revenge tour, like they've said all week long.
Yeah.
And you can tell that they're motivated. Klesmet said they're hungry, so I like their chances.
I mean, you could just kind of see the swagger and the confidence in that
growing.
post game.
It's growing.
Definitely the right time to be peaking as we head into the NCAA tournament. Blaze, they're playing indoors, so weather won't impact them, but what should we expect?
No, we are looking at some pretty sizable snow as we head into next week. That is our alert day Wednesday. Some light snow overnight tonight as well.
Sounds good. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.